Everyone please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let the record reflect that Councilman Calhoun is absent this evening. All other council members are present. And Pastor Brown is here. Would you like to start us off with prayer, sir?
Be glad to. Our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for another day. Father, we have so many blessings to be thankful for, our town and freedom that we have. Thank you for those who serve in so many different ways here in town. Father, I want to thank you that we had a good Easter egg hunt recently. Something about kids came and it was a good time. Thank you for that. I ask for your guidance tonight in the town council meeting, that you grant each member wisdom, and especially if any important decisions need to be made. We thank you, Father, for all this, and we pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Our first order of business is a public hearing that was advertised for the cumulative, what is it called? Cumulative Capital Fund. That ordinance has been available for review for the public. And I don't see it in my packet, actually. Okay, thank you. Ordinance number 2026-03-02, ordinance reestablishing cumulative capital development fund under Indiana Code 36-9-15.5. Be it ordained and resolved by the Atlanta Town Council of Hamilton County, Indiana, that a need now exists for the reestablishment of a cumulative capital development fund for all uses as set out in Indiana Code 36-9-15.5. Be it further ordained or resolved that this board will adhere to the provisions of Indiana Code 36-9-15.5. The proposed fund will not exceed $0.0333 dollars on each $100 of assessed valuation for taxes payable in 2027, and $0.05 on each $100 of assessed valuation for taxes payable in 2028 and thereafter, continued until reduced or rescinded. So that's 3 1/3 cents and 5 cents for 28. Be it further ordained and resolved that a certified copy of this ordinance or resolution shall be submitted to the Department of Local Government Finance of the State of Indiana as provided by law. The tax rate for this fund is subject to certification by the Department of Local Government Finance, duly adopted by the following vote of the members of said council, said Atlanta Town Council, this the 13th day of April 2026. So this is the ordinance that's been up for review, and this is a public hearing. So are there any questions or comments from anybody tonight?
I hear you right, Father, whatever you said, that on the 27 taxes payable on 27 taxes,
That it,
is it for the year of 27 taxes payable 28?
so the question is, on the 2027 taxes, is that when it would start?
Yeah.
It says assessed valuation for taxes payable in 2027.
So that would be accessible for year 26 payable 27. So it would be starting now if it's approved.
It's already, we approved the last one, and so for like 2026, it's where our estimated revenue that we'll get is like 4,000. So this is just reestablishing it at a little bit of a higher rate. You can only go up to 5 cents. Is the to be established. So this is establishing it up to like the 3 cents and then the 5 cents. So the 3 cents will be payable in 2027.
For 2026.
Okay, and that's if DLGF approves it.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions tonight? Okay, does anybody have a motion for ordinance 2026-03-02?
I'll make that motion. We approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just use mine here.
Yeah.
All right, is there a motion to close our public hearing and continue with our regularly scheduled meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have prior meeting minutes from council meeting on March 23rd. The only thing I saw in here is under the clerk treasurer report, there's just a comma in the wrong place on the $59,000 number.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the only thing I saw. Any other additions or corrections?
No, I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have minutes from the festival meeting the same night.
Move that we approve these minutes. Festival meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We'll proceed with reports.
Two more.
Oh,
Yes, you should have executive session and
oh,
special. Yeah.
I'm out of order here. We had an executive session on March 24th at 4 p.m. That was advertised. No decisions were made in the executive session. It all occurred pursuant to the Indiana Code, and we have minutes for that.
Move that we approve those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we had a special meeting the same day at 6 p.m., March 24th.
Move that we approve those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we'll proceed with reports, starting with Mr. Nikolov.
I don't really have much to say about the water utilities. Me and Luke have been going over a lot of stuff. He's a big help. We've been talking about flushing and when we're going to do that, and basically just getting in the routine of doing the daily rounds and collecting samples, getting that done. I was kind of wondering if the council's made any decision on the peerless inspections and cleaning of the wells or anything.
Has everybody had a chance to examine those a little bit further since we last discussed it?
I have not, but that
Okay.
don't.
As I recall, the worst of the three was well 4, and that one
Yes.
also has a transducer
It has a
problem. of some kind.
transducer out in it too,
But
I
it's
believe.
reduced capacity the most of the 3.
I think it was down to 27% efficiency or loss, 27% loss of efficiency.
How much was it to fix those?
I think well 4 in my mind, isn't it like 41,000? 44.
Something like that.
So they're gonna pull what are they gonna do? They're gonna pull the well, they're gonna do the double disc scrubbing of the casing.
Yeah, probably has to clean the casing and the screen and everything, and then I'll put a new motor, a new pump. Sorry, new pump in. Since the pumps are
Yeah, the motor is fairly new, I
like
think.
20 years old.
Right, the pump itself is old.
Yeah.
So this is something that's gonna have to be done eventually anyway, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Right.
It'd
It's just gonna
probably be
keep
nice to
getting
do one a
worse.
year since all three of them are basically in the same shape.
Well, four was $44,310.
Isn't it gonna be the season where we use the water the most in the upcoming next 6 months? And would need,
People will be watering more for sure, yeah.
more water capacity in the summer months than we would in the winter months. Is that
That
true?
ain't really how it works, but
People use more water in the summer than in the winter?
We
yeah,
don't,
But my question is too. Sorry, to interrupt here. If we did a cleaning, would that make it more efficient or proficient?
Yes.
What if we just did a cleaning and not replace the pump, or if we would that be helpful at all? And what would the cost be, or would it not be worth it for them to come out, do a cleaning?
they gotta
and not replace
pull the
pump?
well,
They
and
got to
then,
pull.
they gotta pull the motor and the pump.
So they're gonna want to do
anyway.
a pump if they are cleaning it.
Just makes sense to do it at the same time. I don't know what the cost is on the pump.
It's about 10,000. But their equipment, their rig coming out, pulling it up, I think it's 91 feet deep. I think that
100,
well is, or 100.
120, I think.
I might have the wrong well in my head then.
Yeah, one of the other ones I think is, but that's, I mean, they use a big crane and
How long would it take to do it? When could they do it? You know?
No, I don't have that information. I know Tim Hill's just waiting to hear from me.
Jennifer, do we have?
Well, we could use our depreciation.
that's what that depreciation fund is for stuff like
Currently
this.
have a balance of 95,157.91. Am I reading that correctly?
If I can find it.
How much does that? Which one is that?
It's the top one on the second page.
6103.
So we put in there about about $2,100 a month, so about $24,000 a year. Is that accurate? That's how that gets funded? So we could do one this year, one next year, and skip a year and do one the fourth year, just out of that fund. Does that make sense, or is it gonna need quicker action than that?
No, I think that's
I think
fair.
that's
That's a fair judgment.
Probably a good start. It's probably a good plan, spread it out over a few years.
It's not something that needs to be done all at once while they're here. I mean,
I mean, obviously it would be best to do all three, but they're more efficient from reading that whole write-up they did. The other two wells are more efficient. They've lost less than the other one.
And the
Well-
depreciation fund is too also where, like, we got our new trucks. You know, the new trucks came out of the depreciation fund, so we don't want to deplete it if we don't have to.
Right.
we'll be cutting it in half. I don't know as much about the water as you guys do, so if it needs to be done, I would say do it. If it doesn't need to be done, it's not that big a deal, then save the money. Wait for next year.
Say a 27% reduction currently.
Yeah, that's
Did I
fair.
understand you
The
correctly?
efficiency rate is 27% down, yes.
So it's 73%.
Due to, that could be the age of the pump, that could be the screens being plugged, that could be a little bit of everything adding up to that.
So if we were to wait,
Could he get information just on cleaning, just to have the information, so you can have something to think about? I mean,
and Tim Hill can come to meetings and explain some of this stuff to you guys too. And he's really good at, like budget time, working this stuff in then too. I know we kind of missed the deadline for that, but,
There's,
What's the alternating cycle on the 4 wells? As far as this being in service, you got 3 wells.
Yeah.
How's the alternating cycle where the other ones that has lost less capacity alternating in the system?
2 and 4 are basically producers.
One
But they're 2 main, and number 3 is half the volume of that. So it usually gets pushed back to a middle or a last leg.
How often is that usually running on that well?
Usually we rotate once a month, Luke. Yeah.
So if I hear you right, the primary is used, 4 is used as a primary 4 times a year.
4 and 2, yes. That would be our lead wells, yes.
6,
Alternating.
about half the time.
Half the time, not a third.
Right. So we have one low producing well. We did a bunch of work to well 2 a few years ago that upgraded its efficiency.
3 is the worst one,
It's just a smaller
smaller well.
smaller pump, smaller well.
But, because when Andy was talking about something, I thought he said it was like it went 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. That's not the way.
2 and 3 used to be paired because they were each a little bit less than half the production of well 4. So
Okay.
you'd run both of them at the same time, and then well 4 by itself and alternate that way.
Okay.
But since the production on 2 went up so much, I think it's been operated with well
it'd be
3 as
2,
kind of
4, 3, 4,
lag.
2, 4, 3, 4.
something like that.
there's a lead, mid, lag, and it's just while it's filling the tower. It's just when it's pulling water into the plant, filtering it, pushing it to our tower. There's never a time our tower's been like, we need water, we can't keep up. Our plant runs twice a day, and for a few hours a day.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna have to do it sometime, is there something more pressing to do with that money now than?
I don't think so. The other thing is our water operating has $235,000 in it.
What's that earmarked for? Anything?
The operation of the water utility. I mean,
So that could pay for it.
or partially from there if we didn't want to deplete the depreciation fund or something like that, you know?
What's it do?
What's
Is it just the well report? Is the well, not running properly to the naked eye? Like, are we having
No,
problems?
it's running fine. Your wells are good. They're in great shape. It's just the pumps are getting old. I
So
mean,
based
the
off the well-
pump's based off of a 10-year lifespan, a submersible pump.
Mhm.
And these pumps are 23, 24 years old.
Right.
Your wells are good. It's just, they're getting wore out. It's like a refrigerator that's 25 years old. Your pop don't stay as cold. The efficiency rate's going down.
Takes a lot longer to run and produce water.
Yeah. So for every minute that motor's running too, you're producing a third less water almost. So
Well, I would, if we could, I would like to balance the payment between the depreciation and the water department money.
Do we have a quote on that? You
Yes.
mentioned
Right here.
Yes.
You guys had it in your packet
This
last.
last time.
Do you want me to make you a copy real quick?
That's fine. I remember the bill, I just don't have it in front of me.
No, you need one? No, these are the 3 wells to do the 3. Yeah.
Is there a well number 1?
nope.
It's buried. Yeah.
There is.
It's already been
Not anymore.
abandoned and taken care of.
Okay. Fair
But there was, I guess, a long time ago.
enough. Okay.
It was inside the original water plant building.
Really?
Yep, inside a
Wow, we
building.
did this well number 4.
And then do that one next year.
Yes.
You wanna make a motion? Let me do it. I make the motion, we go ahead with well 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to the wastewater utilities, Indy Softener came in, put a new iron filter in. Had a bunch of problems with a lot of the water lines because of the freeze. Got a lot of fine cracks, had to replace a lot of valves and plumbing in there. But I believe it's all taken care of now. We'll probably be turning it on tomorrow. The next thing comes to is I got a quote price on some NX Max that we need to add to the lagoons, get the bugs thriving. Something we did last year, I guess, and the year before, and something we do annually. And they're holding the price right now at $4,400 up for us because they're changing their website and going to raise the price up. And since we're a repeat buyer, they're going to honor what we paid last year. If we can get this passed and through to pick it up.
Is this what we did for the milkweed or the duckweed?
No,
This is not that. This is.
but it will help with duckweed, won't it?
Not
think
that
it
I
has an
know of.
effect on
No, it
It's
basically
just more of the
adds
digestion.
as aeration for your lagoon to feed the bugs and get them thriving more and working harder. Because they're the hardest working employees out there we got.
And we've done this year after year after year. We've done this.
Yes.
I
Well, for a
don't
few
know how many
years.
years, but at least 2 that I know of.
I remember doing it when I worked here, but that was before I know some quantities. I think it's probably been continuous, but we probably adjusted quantity over time. So we have that dosing system now that helps with some of that, but
I saw a big difference in the health of our ponds when we applied it last time.
they're just, what would you say, almost like a yeast.
Mm-hmm.
Would be a good way to think of it, but it's in a biodegradable bag.
Looks like sawdust.
Equally distribute them across the ponds, and then they go to work.
You ever seen an aeration digester? You're basically giving them all that fuel, except not the air and not the bubbles. But you're giving them all that thrive to work.
I would assume that would come out of sewage operating fund. Okay. Fairly healthy there as well. I move that we purchase the bugs for the ponds.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And finally, on that utility wastewater, we've been working on the building down there, getting ready to rough it all in and do all that. And I just want your approval that we can plumb it and do all the stuff we want to do to get the bathroom going.
Have you all been over to the library, the basement of the library?
No, we have
There's
not.
quite a bit of material there,
But
so
we were looking for some 2x4s. We were just talking about that today.
there's
There's
probably some down there.
2x4s, insulation, drywall. There's a lot of stuff down there.
Okay. Is that all free to use for that
Yes.
building?
It's ours.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have any plans on that building, or do we have any ideas on that building? I
I don't
asked
know if
Luke how
there's-
big he wanted the restroom. We kind of went with some stuff, and I think I sized it up pretty good. A 2.6 door can go in there and open fine, not hitting the toilet or anything like that. And I was going to run the plumbing along the floor since they're 2x6 walls and keep it inside the wall.
Mm.
But I didn't know if it was just for the bathroom, or are we setting it up for anything else in there?
I mean, I know it's been discussed in the past, the possibility of doing a lab, but I don't know how useful that is to us or not. If that's anything, I mean, that the building was kind of sized with that in mind, of potentially building a lab in there as well. But it could be done in stages. We could do that at a later time. We could, I do think it's important to get it closed in, get a bathroom there, get some heat in there.
That's what we've been doing. We got the scuttle hole roughed in, you know, and got everything. Luke's been a great help with everything because he knows everything about this town already. So it's been a big help. And we'll get it all roughed in, and then we'll find out what kind of heaters we want, and we'll go from there.
So,
I mean, it's got to be electric heaters. We got no gas or anything
Sure.
out there. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Any questions for John? All right. We'll move on to Luke.
I don't have a report. I worked until the last second tonight, but I have the, my option to a bed replacement for the 2013. That is, I don't know if you guys gone and looked at it. It's the one that's rusting out. So basically this is a flat bed. It's aluminum. It is the top quote, if everybody has it in front of them. The top quote is a number to basically take our truck to this company, drop it off, and then pick it up when it's done. They do everything in between. That is $6,222. And then the bottom is if we go pick the flat bed up and do it ourselves, replace it, pull the old bed off, replace it with this bed. And then you said you found some 2013.
Yeah. So I think that it would behoove us to either buy a new truck, say, in 2027, or fix this one, and my vote would be to fix this one. But it can't stay the way it is. It looks terrible, it's rusting away. We've done a really good job at maintaining the truck mechanically, and it's, in my opinion, probably has, easily 5, maybe even 10 years of life left in it if we continue to maintain it well. It looks terrible, and the bed's rusting really bad. So I did find a company that sells rust-free Southern beds. They go down to down south, and they'll get trucks off of, or bed parts off of wrecked trucks and things like that. And I found one for $3,000. The truck would also need a new back bumper, and then it needs some paint work on the hood. The hood needs to be repainted, and then just some little touch-ups and stuff. So I don't know what the total would end up being, but that would fix the truck basically back in its current state, but its current configuration, but have it be looking, like a nice, well taken care of truck again. Have the looks match how it's actually been taken care of, I guess we'll say.
So for $3,000 we get a bed, the Southern bed he was talking about. For $2,000 more we get a bed that we can take off this truck and put on another truck. We buy in the future that can be a cabin chassis option, and buy a truck without a bed. It'll fit a Ford, Dodge, or Chevy. So if we ever went with state bid option and bought a Ford or a Dodge, that bed can come off and go onto that new truck when the 13 is on its way out.
do we need a flatbed truck? Would we have use for a flatbed truck?
Yeah, we'd have use for it.
What would we, how would we use it? I mean, I can think of a few things, but what would
My
you,
thing wouldn't be to buy the truck for the flatbed because we need to use it. It's a bed option.
Now, is it,
And it's,
just so I'm clear, is this the truck that John's currently driving?
yes,
Just want to make sure I'm clear. on
it is way more versatile than a bed with side panels on it. That's what you're asking.
Do they have an 84-inch bed option? Because a 96-inch bed is for a dually.
Yes, they do. I confirmed that. Yep.
they have 7, 8, 6, and 9, 4, and 11, 4.
I measured our truck and he said we have one for it. See, I said, is it aluminum? He said, yes.
Those are lengths. I was talking about the bed width.
Oh, width,
Yep.
sorry.
Looks like it makes more sense to fix it up for the amount of money.
I'd like to keep the truck.
I think we should keep it. It's just whether or not we spend the extra money on a flatbed or just put a regular bed on the back end of it.
Well, it certainly can't stay the way it is, because
Right.
it's just gonna, it looks terrible, and it's just gonna continue to rust away. I mean, a couple more winters, it won't have bedsides anymore, you know?
Can we have some time to think about this?
And are we going to pick this southern, if we buy a bed that is for a 2013 Chevy, are we picking that bed up? And
Yeah, we would have to, which we can figure that out. I think the place I found was just over the state line in Ohio, I think, if memory serves.
okay,
Isn't this bed that's on there rusting out, isn't it a replacement bed already from the original bed that Andy purchased back some time ago?
Yes.
It's already
Yeah.
rusted.
this is the second one.
That steel bumper rusted out.
Yeah.
It's really surprised me, and I think that steel bumper is just
That
falling apart.
that was a very heavy duty bumper, and it was powder coated, and I can't believe it looks like it does right now.
I can't even, it's just unbelievable.
You say it's a 13, so we're
Yes.
looking at
So
13 years old.
13-year-old truck, which is hard to believe too.
It's hard to
but-
believe that, I think we purchased that. John, you and I were on the council together when we, or that might have been right before I came back on.
Yeah,
The last time.
since it was new, we've got, the bed's been replaced and that rear bumper, that's not the factory bumper or bed on the truck already. It changed out already.
So if you got the flat, excuse me, John, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If you got the flatbed, would it last longer than the other bed that you're putting
Well, it's
on?
aluminum, so
Potentially, so it is aluminum, but it's also looks like it's painted, so it's not like it's bare aluminum. So I don't know how good it's going to look in 10 years, but
Be
I
easy
would
to
think
paint.
it's not going to corrode, you know.
May never have to replace it again.
And does it have places here? I noticed it says outside stake pockets.
Yeah,
You could put,
yeah, you could make some
down.
little sides
you
for it
can
or
put
something.
stake, like a stake bed.
And as far as tie down, our highest speed was 30 miles per hour, so we'd have to tie not very regular. We'll be strapping things down to it.
well, if you went and picked something up at
Right.
a door or something, went and picked a door up, you could strap it down.
Yeah. Or take the other truck.
I like the idea of the aluminum because it's gonna outlive the rest of the truck. And like you said, we could take it off and put it on another truck if we had to.
And this is what the county does with their trucks. When their beds go bad, they replace it with an aluminum flatbed. And then they pull the bed off that truck when they get a new one in. They put this used bed on the new truck, cabin chassis. And it saves you quite a bit of money when you buy just a cabin chassis off from the dealership.
Noble Auto Commercial, out of Elwood.
You want to check with Midstate and see if they've got a comparable
It was
product?
a little over $10,000.
Okay, never mind.
Compared to 4.
They're
And
wrapped
so-
products now.
Yes, they are.
I called 5 people total, and this was our way
the best
better option. And this guy Xavier was when it came to, hey, I'll call you in a little bit, or I'll send you a picture right away. It was literally right away. He would
Good
get
service.
right back with me, and I like that.
They give any turnaround time on it if we went ahead and had them do the work versus us?
No, he didn't.
Do you feel comfortable that you could do that work?
Yeah. And yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at the $4,900 option, that's not that far away from a bed and a bumper for $3,000 and whatever the bumper's gonna cost. I don't know, I would support the $4,900 one if you're willing to do the work on it.
Yeah.
And you have time to do the work on it, and I mean, it's not.
I mean, there's
has to be done right away, but
wiring involved, and the other thing is I don't know how universal they are. Like they could say it'll work on any truck, but what brackets are there? Or, you know, do they have to make something to bolt
Yeah,
it
he
to it?
said.
Or-
Yeah, when he asked what truck we're putting it on, I guess he sends you a kit with it.
So there is a vehicle specific
Right.
kit.
Kit he
Okay.
sends with it.
Okay.
I know they've got 9 hours listed as the install.
You think we ought to just let them do it? For $1,200 or?
I think so. My
And,
personal feeling is let the professionals do it. No,
no, and
No.
the way my week's been
don't
this
be,
week,
I
I might not have time.
offended by that, but you
Oh.
take someone that does that type of work every day
Yeah,
versus,
I agree.
I messed a lawnmower up today, just to give you an example.
Yeah,
I mean, I was helping a neighbor out and stripped out a spindle on his deck, just because I don't do that every day.
right. This would be the most expensive thing I've asked from you guys, for sure, besides my salary, I guess.
Well, yes.
And this can be taken out of water, sewer, storm,
Street.
and trash, yeah, and, you know, it can be taken
I
out of several
don't know, I
different
just think
places.
sometimes you trip over pennies and it costs you dollars.
That is true. Well, I don't really, I mean, I personally, again, if I was doing it, I'd probably just fix it like it is. However, I don't have strong feelings about that. What I do have strong feelings about is,
Yeah.
let's fix our truck.
Right. I
So,
agree.
Well, I mean, if the money's there and the truck needs fixed, let's do it. I'll make a motion that we go with the $6,200 quote, let them do the work and get it done.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
And then,
And then we reduce Luke's pay by,
figure out,
or to pay for.
somebody to paint the hood, get some prices for that too, I guess. Hood and other paint touch-ups, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else? So,
What we, you wanna say something about that water thing that happened on the corner or?
Oh, yeah, that's what I did today was, the catch basin over here at Walnut in Maine. I didn't locate it because I didn't know it was there. It's a storm drain and the inlets, the catch basin's here, the inlets were over here, and it's a waterfall type of structure where it was just running across dirt into our catch basin. So the contractor got into it, so I replaced a catch basin.
So we have a new catch basin or a new,
on the,
Yeah, it's
on
got
the
a
west
lid.
side?
It's got a
Yes,
The one that
side.
had the, the one that had
It's
the rectangular,
square,
yeah.
Yeah. So now it's got a lid and ring. It's gonna go straight to the catch basin.
did you lower that down a little bit?
Not yet.
Okay. I just wondered if everybody knew about that. I didn't know about it till
Yeah, I didn't
drove
either.
by.
But, this is Luke business here, which is the, obviously sidewalks are going in, as part of our paving project, and that would be, something that Luke oversees, and we've been working through some issues there, with the contractor with placement of the sidewalk. So we had the surveyor come out over here on Meridian Street and put points down where our property line is, where that stretch of sidewalk is on the north side. And then me and Luke came out and added additional stakes 2 feet off of those so they could measure off of that as a reference point. Because at the west end, the sidewalk was actually over onto private property by about, 8-10 inches, something like that. And so he couldn't actually put a stake there. And so we put our own stake 2 feet away. He told the contractor, hey, here's what the deal is. You measure 2 feet off of these stakes. That's
This is
where the sidewalk
this
has
is what
to
the
be.
stakes are for. I
Yes.
explained it to him.
They have, on that half block, located the sidewalk well onto private property. And so what I've been thinking about this a lot since we figured this out, and I think that they need to move it.
Make them rip it up and do it again.
It sucks to tell somebody that, the work they just did isn't right, but I mean, Luke and I walked the job beforehand with the main guy from the contractor, and told him we were going to get it surveyed and there would be points there, and it's very important to us that it be on our property. It could be, you know, an inch or two onto us, not necessarily right on the line, but it needs to be on our property, and that's why we had the survey work done. And then he communicated with the foreman about all of this as well, and it's, I mean, you can go look at it. I don't know if the, can you still see where?
My pins were,
Yeah,
I think they're still there.
yeah. So you could see these rebar pins sticking up if the contractor didn't rip them out, but measuring 2 feet off of them, close to the alley, what was it, an inch or two? Even there, it was onto the private property.
There's
It
one
was
with
an
like,
inch or two.
there's one that was like 6 inches, one was like 8 inches, I think.
So it's quite a bit. The side, and you can look down the sidewalk too and see it's got a bow in it. I mean,
There's a few other spots pointed out over in that area, same area, that are gonna need fixed too, so.
Are you comfortable or confident that he understood what you were telling him and that
Yeah,
he knew, you explained it to him and he knew?
I knew what it meant. He sure should have, I guess.
Well, I mean, you told him you measure off 2 feet from this point and,
Yeah,
okay.
like that. Explain what the pins are for, you know. Those are 24 inches from the survey stake. And everybody knows what a survey stake is, you know.
Well, if they should have known and we explained it to them, then yeah, they gotta move it. I mean, and it shouldn't cost us a dime.
I don't think so either. Our survey for that section of the street was, I just forwarded it to Jennifer, was $930. So why do that?
And then
Just
have
be
it messed
ignored
up.
about it, you know?
Right.
And I'm confident in the communication that we did when we were here with the guy that, whoever they're, I don't know if it's the owner or
Yeah.
some higher up in their company, and
I
then
think,
he
yeah.
communicated directly with the foreman throughout the project. So
And the stakes were there.
yeah, it's pretty frustrating.
Stakes were there.
So anyway, if nobody has strong feelings to the contrary, that's probably the discussion that's going to happen. I have work tomorrow, but I'm going to call Justin and call the owner of that company and tell him we've got a problem, and then hopefully I can meet with Luke on Wednesday if they decide they're not just going to go over there and do it, you know. But that's kind of where that's at.
Other than that, how are they doing?
What did Luke? Well,
They hit.
I don't know if that's worth saying in a public meeting.
They hit the.
We're ending up with a nice sidewalk,
Okay.
but
Variation.
everybody has a different definition of really good high-end work. And I
Okay.
would say this, I don't think this is very high-end work. I think we're ending up with a good sidewalk that will last, but it isn't perfect.
Okay.
I guess stand at the south end of Walnut and look north and then go look at those.
Are we pretty confident that that's all on us based on those property line markers?
This Nick Harris work.
No.
Oh, this Walnut.
Yeah.
I was talking about go look at Nick Harris.
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah. Nick's sidewalk turned out great.
But yeah, I mean,
It just
they-
does some moving on our property.
and
is
they
what it does.
dig, you know, they dig, there's a stake, they dig to the stake, and then the stake has to go away. And they keep digging to the next stake, and then that stake's gotta move for their form boards, you know. So, I don't know. It's a bummer to have to ask that of them. That's something I've never had to do before. If you guys want me to do it though,
I mean, I think they need to do something, but to me, it's not acceptable. If all the communication happened and that was our intent from the beginning, is our sidewalk goes on our property. It seems like a pretty big miss on their part. So, okay. We'll be in touch with them, I guess, and keep you all informed of what's going on there. Any other questions for Luke? All right, do you have any ordinance stuff?
no, I worked till the last minute.
No,
but
you're good.
I have my vote for this. When is that?
Oh, we'll do that after.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
do that at the end. If you gotta get out of here, you can list them 1, 2, 3. I don't want to keep you.
Well, they're in order. So
Okay. If you need to leave, go ahead and leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are those stickers there? Is that a golf cart permit?
Oh yeah, we owe AJ Witham $10. These are our new golf cart permits.
Okay.
They're pretty cool.
Nice.
Did lanyards in the past. I'm gonna go stick one on John's golf cart right now.
Oh,
You guys paperwork has been paid for.
He is committed. All right. Well, thank you.
All right, guys.
I was just thinking he wasn't gonna let any sticker go on his golf cart.
Only
No, I put it on the
slow
slide.
moving vehicle sign.
Yeah.
You will if you want to drive it, I guess.
Top 3. Is how we go.
All right. Jennifer, do you have anything for us tonight?
Just very quickly, Indiana Landmarks did their inspection. They do a yearly inspection of the library. So I put that in your packet. Things I told them that we are in the process of what we're doing. So that was fine. Also, the RDC tip report was uploaded to Gateway. That's in there. As of right now, we haven't, we don't actually report any money at this point. And then just keep it on your radar, the policy handbook. So, and that is all I have. One other thing, Lee and Shelley France donated 1,000 Easter eggs for next year. And
Oh, nice.
they're pre-filled with toys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was so nice. So
Well, that's
we're
very
gonna
nice.
send them a thank you card, so.
Well, thank you to the Francis. Okay. Any questions for Jennifer? All right. Attorney, obviously, they're not attending meetings anymore. I have
Wait a
been.
minute, can I say
Go
one
ahead.
thing about the attorneys?
Yeah.
I talked to John today, and actually Hunter he came here on the one meeting, we got to meet him. He is available by phone at any meeting that we want him
Right.
to be, and they said if you guys want them here, they'll definitely be here. So, but he said, feel free to give Hunter a call during the meeting if we have a question about something.
Okay. Well, I talked to Craig a few days ago on the phone, and we went over 6 or 7 kind of outstanding issues, and so they're working on all of that. He sent me a follow-up email. So hopefully at the next meeting we'll have the ordinance for the park board, and then we're trying to resolve a couple other things. They're trying to find us somebody, for example, who can update our zoning map and zoning ordinances. Because I've tried contacting the company that originally did it, that says they're still in business twice, and have not heard anything back from them. That's called Ground Rules, I believe. American Legal Publishing can host it for us online, which is, I think, something that needs to happen, but they said they won't update it. Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, they don't update that,
So-
but they can host.
So that may be an option, and maybe they can do something with the map. I don't know, because I do think they have some digital map capabilities. But we also made some little changes to the zoning ordinances, like, for example, with fences and sheds, I think that may not necessarily be reflective in we've done ordinances to pass that, but I don't know if the zoning ordinance itself got updated because American Legal Publishing isn't updating our zoning ordinance. So we're trying to fix that, figure that out. So I just wanted to give that little update there. And we'll segue that right into, let's talk 296th Street. I talked to them, Craig, a little bit about that as well, and let him know that you all were looking into it. I know you and Jennifer had been talking to IDEM or INDOT. It sounds like it's confirmed that it is on Tipton County's road inventory, and they are receiving tax money for it, and we are not. So their constant assertion, anybody that calls and complains to them, they forcefully tell them that's Atlanta's problem, go talk to Atlanta. And it absolutely is not, and you can see it right there.
Yes, they did.
So I wanted to make sure of that because John and I should have talked about this when John was talking, we met with our engineers the other day to talk about some sewer-related issues, but we also touched on this road deal, and there's a potential, because our bids came in so low for this current work we're doing, that we could apply for round 2. Are we gonna need to do 296th Street, or can we do other segments in town that, even though they were paid fairly recently, have started to fail, and if the money's available, let's just go ahead and mill them up and fix them, and we can do the sidewalk that runs right next to them, or whatever. I guess it's confirmed it isn't ours.
Right here's the email from NDOT.
I put that in there, Murray, did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I did.
Okay.
And I mean, they've even attached a section of state statute. It's Indiana Code 8-17-1-45. Counties responsible for roadways on southern and eastern boundaries. And there's a state statute about that.
When I talked to John today, he wondered if maybe not where some of the problem lies is like when I talked to NDOT, she sent me their map versus what Tipton is looking at is a GIS. So he was
The
kind
GIS
of
is their own county's deal, though. That doesn't mean anything.
yeah, so he kind of was wondering what, but he did tell me that they were going to respond to Tipton today,
Okay.
and that once they heard back or whatever, they let
So-
us know.
So their street, is it their street commissioner that keeps saying,
It
or
is-
highway?
They
road?
have an attorney and a
And-
engineer.
But they keep bringing up that we did annexation after
Yeah.
1996. What we annexed was basically, is it that it's the house, like 2 houses down from the West Hopkins Drive to just short of the blacksmith. So we're talking like 500 feet or something like that. And they're saying because of that, our whole, every bit of 296 that we border is us, is what they're trying to say. If they want to argue over that little strip, argue over that little strip. But don't say because you did some annexing at some time that now you are responsible for all of it, especially when it's still on their road inventory and they're getting funding for it. So
Can I have a copy and I'll take it up there and show it?
if you would like to do that,
Yes, I would.
we'll make sure you get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mrs. Knott's come in today. You guys know that. And she was pretty upset, and I told her, I said, we're trying to get it all worked out. And,
It's sad. It's got to be very frustrating
oh,
for
it
anybody
is, I
that
mean, the
lives
road's
up
a
there.
mess, and
It is.
that was my concern.
Yeah.
I mean, if that is on us, then we need to,
Yeah.
Sure.
need to take care
And
of that.
if I don't know how that works, if there's a way to make it ours, I'm open to that conversation. The thing is, though, they've been receiving the money for it. So before I would say yes to taking it, I think they need to fix it. It shouldn't, if it did become ours, it shouldn't be our financial responsibility to bring it back into reasonable condition. So anyway, that's where that is.
Thank you, though.
I'm glad we're getting closer to resolving it. Hopefully we can make that happen.
Well, I'm just glad we got an answer.
Even though it's not ours, can we just fill in the hugest ones? We can't touch it.
I'm not going on somebody else's property to do repairs.
It's terrible, but I know, but,
Just thinking we could.
Once you start, they.
yeah.
That's the other thing too, is you're gonna set a precedent that, oh, it is our responsibility. I think we need to assert our position, which is also apparently the state's position. And if they want a different arrangement, they need to use some sort of a legal channel for us to get there. But as it stands right now, it's on them and they need to take care of it.
Take video of it down from Central 19 and send it to Tipton County
The
Commissioners.
commissioners, that's probably a good idea.
It's the counties, the city don't have anything to do with it, it's county.
That probably is a good idea, to make contact with the county council or the county commissioners and, yeah. I like that idea. Also on old business is library, so the report that Jennifer mentioned from Indiana Landmarks, and beyond that, the masonry work is done. They did a great job. Everybody go over there and look at that if you haven't already. But they tuck pointed the whole building, and then they they removed the sill and shortened an upper window opening, and then turned a window opening into a door opening. And it all looks really, really good. They even did a really good job matching the original mortar and used the same methods for creating mortar that they would have done back then. And I'm pretty happy with the result.
It does look nice.
I'm waiting on, so we have the quote that you obtained, the one quote. I talked to the contractor that I had walked through the building with a few days ago, and he said he's currently working on a quote for us as well. So hopefully we get some movement there here pretty soon.
One more thing on the library, there's still a tile missing on the south side.
Sure, we do need to
That
figure
middle.
out how to get a new roof tile and somebody that can replace that for us. So I'll see if I can find out where those tiles came from.
Yeah.
I do remember them talking about that it was the original manufacturer of the tiles back in.
We
the
got some, we need some
teens.
extras.
Right, maybe that makes sense. Can we get 20 of these things or something like that, you know?
Cause if one fell off.
Well, it was because of a tree that was there that I think
Knocked
a
it.
chunk of the tree fell out in a storm and
I
broke
wonder
that
if I
tile.
could just go Cicero and ask her.
We probably
You
could
know what I'm saying?
Um,
Just-
see if they've got any
information on it.
archives on
Yeah.
that, because I can't remember when that was, 2017 or 18. It's not been all that long ago. But anyway, there's that.
Mike might know that too, Mike.
Okay. So at our last council meeting, we introduced ordinance 2026-03-01, which is an ordinance amending chapter 92 of our ordinance book regarding animals. And basically what it does is it adds the reference to anywhere that talks about an animal at large, which is mostly referencing dogs in our book. It adds cat to that as well. It's been available for review since our last meeting. Obviously, it's almost going to be impossible to fully enforce this, but at least now there's a mechanism when there's a very problematic situation, maybe we could actually do something about it. So
Do we have any live traps on hand?
I think the town has one or two. I don't remember exactly.
I
I
mean, I
think
didn't
there's
know
a
if
couple out
it's
there at the water plant.
problematic trapping them.
Yeah, I believe there are a couple out there at the water plant. But in any case, we could buy a couple too if we need them.
If it becomes problematic, are we calling Luke, who are we calling about?
So the way that we had talked with the police about when the county were helping us with the police, they said, we'll come help you trap an animal or catch an animal. But, you know, the whole deal with the Humane Society, they can't take it down there because we get charged a lot of money for that. And I believe that Arcadia Police Department is also willing to help us. But it would probably be a call to the town hall and issue a complaint like you normally would, and then it'll make it through Luke, and then if he needs help, he'll get in touch with the police, something like that.
Well, I move that we adopt ordinance 2026-03-01, amending the chapter 92, the animal ordinance.
Can I ask a question before we
Sure.
second that? Is there a way we can amend this to not be specific about what the animal is? Just a nuisance animal?
I suppose we could. I do think that there's probably other areas of our ordinance that could use some review as well. So I don't know if that you want to.
I'm all in favor of this, don't get me
Sure,
wrong.
sure,
I
sure.
just don't know that it goes far enough because there's chickens running all over the place.
Well, that would be under an ordinance we already have.
Oh, it would?
Mhm.
Okay.
The chicken ordinance specifies how they must be contained and, you know, how their pen and their run and their coop must
It's
be.
not horrible. It's every once in a while, which my dogs get out every once in a while, so I understand. I just want to know if we have, you know, if
Yeah.
somebody's ferret gets out and tears something up, you know?
Sure.
Is there more than just dogs and cats that we're worried about? You know,
That's a fair question. It might be worth examining the ordinance as
in
a
general.
whole and see if it needs to become more comprehensive, or, you know, we could beef it up a little bit.
I'm all in favor of this one. Go ahead. Penny. I just had a
So there's
question.
any other discussion here? Fred made a motion.
Oh, a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, pass that on down the line.
I'll just give you mine.
Thanks. All right. Any other old business from the council anybody can think of?
Is the attorney still working on the plan commission ordinance?
Yes, that was another thing we talked about, and he's assured me that they're going to get us one. So
Okay.
that's about 8 months late, but we'll get there.
Or for the course.
Okay. Any new business from the council tonight?
Yeah, I've got one thing I'd like to, I guess, discuss or propose.
Sure.
With a part-time person, Matt Stringer. Matt's been helping us, what, since
October?
October, yeah. I wonder, if it would be beneficial for us to hang on to him on a part-time basis.
At least through the summer while they're mowing and everything.
Yeah,
It's so hot.
mowing, and I know we haven't moved on the park yet, but eventually we're going to, obviously make some improvements at our park. And, I don't know, I just, Matt's, man, he's an excellent worker. And, I've worked with him on a couple different occasions, and, I know he's got a strong desire to stay here. I have talked with him about that, and if we do let him go, I think he's probably gonna seek employment elsewhere, which, you know, that's his business. I just hate to lose him. I mean, he's here every day. He's, very cordial, just, I don't know.
How often does he work now, Fred?
I think he's working 29 hours,
Okay.
29 to 30. I know,
So I do remember, I think Luke saying, and this has been a few months ago, that he was doing like 2.5 days a week or something like that.
Trying to stay under that threshold of, because I know you get into some full-time
Sure.
things. If you work more than that, you know, you become eligible for you know, vacation days,
Yeah,
insurance, and all
certain
of that.
benefits.
And
Well, I think, I agree with you. I think Matt's an excellent worker and an excellent person, and I foresee him being needed more once the park is really going. Whether it's overseeing the building of things or maintaining that, and that might be a year away, but I think he's valuable enough to, if we have to limit his hours even more to make it work, if he's okay with that, I mean, I would like to keep him if we could, if there's money. I mean, part of John's salary is to be that kind of person too, to be mowing. But if we, at all possible, if we can make it work, I would like to keep him as well.
just want to bring that up tonight.
I mean, he doesn't have any time limit over his head right now. No 30 days ticking on him or anything
No,
like that.
no.
Well, another thing too, guys, think about is whenever one of the full-time guys goes on vacation, you're gonna have a one-man band here for a week or whatever the vacation is. And if there's an emergency or whatever, you need two guys to deal with any type of emergency water leaks and different situations like that for vacation time and things. And, you know, Matt, you know, like say, I've seen him been out, stop at the job and watch him work and everything. He's an excellent worker. He does what he's told. Like I said, he's there every day. And I'd hate to see him, you know, go somewhere else and then, you know, find out that you really need the part-time guy. And he doesn't have any benefits or anything, so it's just a salary for the hour work. So, and, you know, you could split his salary amongst 4 or 5 different departments to where any certain one wouldn't take the hit for the full amount. I think he's a pretty good asset to the town myself. Had that, you guys' comments there.
I'm not disputing the need for extra work, especially when we have extra projects going on. And this is historically how we've operated forever, is when there's a utility project or a paving project or a building project of some kind going on. Other things, we get behind on other things. And so that's where historically certain council members have come and helped with things just to try to make up some of that difference. So I don't know that it's a bad thing. I don't know, I do think maybe some kind of a reasonable limit or at least a guideline for that might be in order, because we did just, again, make a hire Mr. Nikolov here. And so, you know, obviously there's that's a huge weight off of that helps us distribute our workload a ton. But at the same time, it's, you know, we've got extra stuff going on. We've got a library project and we got the paving and all that. So
Got the water plant build going on too over there. They're, aren't they putting in, or is that at the sewer plant?
oh yeah, the work that they're doing
They're
in the
doing
sewer
with the
plant.
sewer
yeah,
plant?
Yeah. Yeah. So I yeah. Again, I'm not personally anti third person as a part-time employee. I do think though that some sort of a hours guideline would be useful to impose. So
Would we need him more in the summertime, do you think, or in the wintertime? Or do you think it's pretty much?
It depends. I mean, summertime, definitely, you know, with the mowing and with the park, and, but wintertime, depending on the type of winter you have. I
Yeah,
mean,
if you have a bad one,
he
then
worked, you know, obviously we didn't have John at the time, but he and Luke worked together this winter trying to maintain the streets.
Winter time, well, you got your maintenance and all your equipment, you put off till the winter and
Yeah,
stuff, that
that's
it's all
true, too.
summer long, so, you know, with the weather conditions, I mean, they're working on maintenance and different things.
He does have some mechanical skills. I've noticed.
does it make sense to say 24 hours? That'd be 3 full days. Or
I didn't think,
or-
I mean,
just as needed, or how do we? I mean, I think we need to have something there.
Yeah, I think the 29 hours, you know, I think that's what he's currently been working. Am I correct, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Is that what, I
about
mean, you
20.
do is, I know it may vary from week
Sometimes
to
it
week,
goes over 29.
does it?
I like to keep it.
I know, yeah. So
I
say-
think 3 full days is fair. I mean,
Okay,
he could work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or
or,
Yeah.
Those are
whatever.
8-hour days, or you could even put 24 hours, I guess you could.
4 6s.
Yeah.
You could say 3 days,
4
and then
6s.
if he's needed for, you know,
If
something.
we got water flying out of the ground or
Yeah,
something,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
an extra set of hands.
Behind on the
With the
mowing,
approval
whatever,
of somebody.
you know.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Does somebody want to motion to allow for him to be regularly scheduled for 24 hours a week? We'll say it that way.
I'll make that motion that Matt has a regular schedule of 24 hours a week to be increased in an emergency situation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any other new business? Any questions or comments from anybody in attendance tonight? Mrs. Teal.
Never disappoint.
Hey, Rick. Say that Bill Malott has done so much in front of the post office to replace the flagpole with his own. And I think he needs recognition for all that he did down because it really looks nice. Also, the sidewalks, I think, are so nice. It's adding so much to the town.
It is.
I think that was a good decision you guys made. That is, you can really tell a difference. The old Atlanta to the come with time show, so it does look nice.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
I mean, that doesn't really affect in front of your place, but have you heard other residents who
The
who?
two lots there, it's all needs done.
No, I mean, well, they're not paving down by your house, right? I mean, or are they?
No.
But have you heard from the people who they are doing the sidewalk in front of, whether they like it or not? Okay, I haven't heard from anybody other than you.
I do know one, of course, I haven't talked to him since any of the work's been done, but they were thrilled as could be when they found out about it. So
Okay,
I believe that's probably going to be a consistent theme across a lot
I
of them.
talked to one property owner that was planning on putting one in. And I said, well, just be patient. There's gonna be one go in there, and he was tickled to death.
I mean, it would look like the whole block was done if it was just two lots were done.
Yeah, I know.
For the
Neil, you want those 2 lots to be done?
No, no.
We talked about that, so.
We do have sidewalk money specifically set aside separate from whatever's being done right now for this year. So we just need to identify our next segment to do and do that. So we'll work on that. We'll
Yeah.
look at.
One take 4 lots, get you guys back to 2.
Are they
Alright.
doing the other side of Walnut?
No,
No, okay.
it was
Left off.
yep, it was left off, which disappoints me.
Yeah.
I walked it with the engineer and we talked about it several times after that. And, but that's okay.
What
We
happened?
can do it in the future, I guess. So, all right, Mr. Pfeiffer, you got something for us tonight?
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Granddaughter has practice. I'm trying to help coach. Well, the main thing was AJ Witham. So I want to kind of get opinions on how to proceed with that because he asked me about it, the sign out here. I told him he could try to get a variance because to use both sides and to exceed the square footage.
Yeah, the area.
So he actually talked to Ray Adler, and Ray Adler sent us the package. But I think at this point, it's not something I make a decision on.
No.
So where should it go? Because I think BZA,
Yeah, I guess you talked to the BZA about it.
yeah, well, we talked to, I think Kevin said that he doesn't do signs, but, so,
It'd be a variance, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
for use variance. So we'll just,
There's been other people get them, right? Am I thinking wrong? I think that.
well, I think the dollar store or whatever got a variance for that sign.
Yeah.
That was part of the whole deal out there, that they need a variance for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
That's the whole purpose of the BZA, I thought, was to,
So, well, just,
yeah,
if I'm missing something,
right,
Okay.
right.
I guess I'll try to make contact with Kevin and
and then we've got,
see what's going on there.
I think, what's her name? I can't think of her name. The lady that lives out
Oh, Lisa Watkins.
there. Yeah. I think that's pretty cut and dry. They're wanting to put her son's wanting to put a small home on that property, but again, he'd probably need a variance so he can help take care of his mom. His dad passed away, so. I think
Where's that? Is that in town?
What road is that? Just down from, was that Green Side or Green Slide?
Yeah,
Just the
it's-
next property
What's Lisa's?
east.
It's right there,
Backside of the
Indian
Indiana
Marine.
Marina,
Okay.
right there on
Is that newer? Is it that newer house?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
probably
It's not the newer house, it's the,
one
it's
down by
right
the
before you
railroad.
get, right before you go to the railroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, they
Not
probably need a
handicapped.
variance for that.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's. That'd be a good BZA question.
And then Chris Davis, I need to get a few more details from him, but he's got somebody that wants to use his garage to run, I can't even remember what kind of business is out of there. And he is zoned special character, but
Yeah.
even with that, it says permitted, it has permitted uses and special exception uses. So
Is it one of the permitted uses?
I don't think so.
Okay, if it's a special exception use, that'd be a variance as well.
But otherwise, would be good to go because he's on, it's out of his garage.
Yeah.
But still,
As far as I'm aware, commercial property, you can
Yeah.
operate a business.
Yeah.
So.
Can
Yeah.
you go in and out of his garage though, without being,
what's that?
going in and out of his garage, can you?
The north side is the south side is onto an alley. That is an alley there, right next to the park. Half of it's been vacated. This half has been vacated, and is continuous with the park. And then his half is still a passable alley.
But the west side, it comes into the street there.
Oh yeah, into the post office alley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that an issue?
I don't think so. I mean,
I mean,
if his
some of the-
business is inside the building, I don't think we can prevent somebody from accessing their building. Would be
As long as
my-
they're not parking in the alley and block. Yeah, there are some rules that, about different things.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can see what we got. We got the barn out there at the old Walt's property.
Yeah.
We got pole barn going up here at Denny Bozel's business. So they meet the requirements, so I think that one of the things there is they're gonna have to move, they're gonna move the gas line once they get the building up. The gas line can't go underneath the building, so they'll reroute it. There's a few other things going on. I think the Broadway property is ready for final inspection. Somebody else is ready for a final. I can't think who it is off the top of my head. So I don't know if there's anything else or not.
Was there any more on the trailer park renovations?
No.
Has there been any
I
communication
guess
about
I
that?
need,
I was just curious.
I need to figure out where they're at in that process as far as what else they need to do or what else they don't need to do.
Right. I had someone ask me
I'm
about.
sure they'd have to get some stuff from the county for the drainage and all that, but I don't know if they have or not.
I know I had a resident approach me about how bad that road is, and I said, well, that's not on our
Yeah.
inventory.
Right.
Unfortunately, I said, that's your landlord that owns the trailer park. So.
You talking to them down by me?
Uh-huh.
That's gravel. I mean,
Well, it's pavement
Is it?
coming off.
One section of it is.
Pretty rough.
I think they're gonna clean up some of that, but I don't see anything.
yeah, that's probably why it'd be nice if they did develop it,
Mhm.
the rest of them, because when they,
That was what he
Yeah.
said when he was here.
Yeah, they were talking about-
developing it, they were gonna
Right.
improve it,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
They were gonna put a bunch of new ones in and then do a bunch of work to the existing lots. So I don't know. Hopefully they
Yeah.
do that someday.
So,
All right. Any questions for Rick? Well, thanks for coming. Let me
Yeah,
know if you
thanks,
need
Rick.
anything. I'll talk to Kevin and then probably talk to you after I do, but we'll figure that out.
I think there's a reason that's not, I'm not part of the process from this point forward.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
conflict of interest, probably.
Well, I mean, that's citizens deciding what they think is acceptable in town. So the BZA exists for a reason, and I think that's all these issues are on to them.
I might point out that there has been variances for other signs.
Yeah. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
thank you.
But that's something, I guess that's something I wish we could put a sign up to say this sign has a variance or this,
Yeah.
this has a
We
variance,
could require that a little
so people,
plaque or something.
yeah.
Yeah. Little ID card. Yeah.
That's why I asked the guy out at, the Walls property, I said, could you please put that building permit on that post out there?
Right.
So people drive by,
Stop
they can see
asking.
you got a permit.
Yeah.
So,
And he did that, didn't
Yeah.
he? I've seen that.
All right. Well, is there any other business to discuss? Do you want to wrap festival into this? Let's adjourn and let's start our festival meeting. Is there a motion to sign claims and adjourn?
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion to sign, adjourn and sign claims.
All in favor? Aye.
Are we